man. This crew called Hoop Jargon. They've been getting at it, man. They the ones that's gonna grill you, man, because they majority are all Houston people. So that's
shout out to Hoop Jargon.
Man, I'm here with my man with Hoop Jargon, the best in the game, man. And you know I only let selected few in my circle. And this is the real dude right here. We gonna get down with the get down.
Shout out to Hoop Jargon, man. Shout out to everybody coming on this early Saturday. Sunday. I'm getting my days confused, man. It's lovely Sunday morning, which is about to be beat down city. We're going to get to that. When we get to that, man, I'm going to bring my guys up, man. Cowboys podcast. Gentlemen, what's going on,
happening?
Man?
What it do?
What's happening, man? What's happening? Shout out to Hoop Jargon.
At least somebody from the Cowboys bartered the show today, unlike last week.
Somebody. The only, I mean, other than Michael Parsons.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Other than Michael Parsons. And about a sliver of Ezekiel Elliott.
You know that meme they show of Wolverine holding the picture? I bet he had a meme of himself in a Penn State jersey, just reflecting back on the good old days when he was actually part of a football program that was worth the goddamn.
Yeah, no doubt, man.
It's sad, man.
JJ got 2.0, man. Michael, if you see this, bro, real talk, when your extension time comes up, if this shit's still going on, you break that pen in half, bro. No, son, don't do it.
Michael, don't listen to this, man.
Don't do it.
Need your undying loyalty.
Let's not look. They started that, but let's not do that.
Yeah, you deserve better. If things are not better than they are right now, I'm telling you as a friend, don't do it. As a fan, I'm telling you, not as a friend, I'm telling you, bro, do not sign an extension with these some bitches. They don't do better than what they doing now.
Do it. I need your undying loyalty.
No doubt.
Don't suffer with me.
You're gonna be old and with a cane when they call your name for the Hall of Fame, messing around with these dudes, man.
So be it.
Don't do it.
Man, so thinking about what was the obvious coming into the day, man, you know, because, you know, I think we're all in agreement, the three of us, and I'm sure everybody who watched the game, whether you fan or non-fan, that was piss poor. It was god-awful. It was an absolute debacle. It was worse than Egypt versus the Red Sea. It was bad, and you know what, man? The most alarming thing about this before the show started, man, all week, man. The most alarming thing about last week was, matter of fact, since it's a real small piece, this part that I actually felt not bad about. Defense.
Yeah.
Defense by and large showed that this could be a unit that we thought, you know, could be good. They kept them out of the end zone. They kept that offense pretty well in check for the most part. Fournette got loose a little bit late. Parsons was Parsons. He literally forced the Tampa offense into a couple field goals by himself. Just decided to play. So that's the good part. The part that was most disheartening, and I know you guys are going to rail on this, and I can't wait. And especially y'all out there in the chat, you know, bring y'all too. Man, Dak Prescott really disappointed me last week.
Yeah.
You know, I don't give a damn about that thumb injury. For all that we talked about in the show last week, man, and what he rolled out there, you know, in terms of like the leadership piece and picking guys up. I mean, we knew he was facing. We got guys out, blah, blah, blah. And that whole being that guy, you know, with the money and the expectation and it's year 6 and that whole deal. Right, he went out there and flat stunk up the joint. That decision on that pick, for fear of destroying my TV, I was ready to just throw a brick at it. I was like, bro, that was a step back of what, 4 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, so you know, and I want to hear y'all rail on this, man. But for me, in the overall disappointment, as much I want to get into, I want to start with that because he was the most disappointing to me. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting to be tough sledding, no doubt. Rich damn near called a score to a T. Got to shout out Rich on that. He damn near called a score to a T. I think he said like what, 20-6 or 24-6?
24-6.
Yeah. I mean, he was like just right there.
It was generous.
So, I was thinking about that.
I gave more credit than I should have.
The Buccaneers
Rich sit there and call that shit. But he was the most disappointing, man. There's a list of things we're gonna get to before we get to the Bengals, but man, Dak just flat out disappointed me, man.
I'll say this too, man. Like again, I asked about would this look like that Atlanta Falcons game from a few years ago. Now, again, Dak played horrible. Like you said, that decision making, like I was just like, I got nothing. However, we still that O-line situation is still not, it's a glaring hole. So I don't care who the hell we put. I've seen people saying, let's go after Jimmy Garoppolo to Sammy's question, asking about quarterback. To do what? To do what? Go get Kaepernick to do what? Go get Colin Kaepernick to do what?
Right. Play left tackle?
Exactly.
And the funniest one I saw, guys, was Ben Roethlisberger. I'm like,
to do what?
That's affiliate shit right there.
That is affiliate shit.
That's affiliate.
I heard,
shit.
but I saw the Ben Roethlisberger thing. I said, boy, an affiliate planted this.
Yeah.
There's no self-respect in
Kaepernick, man. I'm like, come on now.
I'm surprised I haven't seen more. I saw a couple of them on Twitter. There was a couple of Romo heads that popped up.
Oh, they back?
Yeah.
The Romo heads are back?
Yeah. The
I
Romo
haven't seen it, but I thought about it, Rich, and like that, I'm surprised that I haven't seen it yet.
Right.
Because I know that faction exists.
Yeah, they still exist. There's still grown men out there who snuggle in their number 9 onesies and go to bed dreaming about the possibility of Tony Romo returning from the gods of the broadcast booth to lead this team to victory.
Yeah, and I was a Romo guy, man. I've always said that. And I stand on it. But man, come on. I mean, I let number 9 go in 16, week 8.
You should have.
Yeah,
you should have.
Yeah, I let number 9 go week 9 of Dak's rookie year, week 8, when he made the little heartfelt speech, whatever else.
Right,
I was good with it. It's like, bro, look, it didn't happen the way it was designed. Move in with the new era. Number 9 is the pass. We're going forward. So
yeah, I've been
all y'all out there that's harboring Romo thoughts.
Let it go.
Let me tell you something.
LIG.
Cliff Arrow doing the Chris Jericho code breaker back crack thing was one of the best things that ever happened to the Dallas Cowboys in the past 20 years.
Wow.
I said it at the time. That was one of the best things that happened. Thank you. Cliff Averill, if I ever run into you, brother, I owe you a drink.
Hey, yeah, we learned that we're not gonna just throw anything up there and hope Romo just miraculously turns into Joe Montana and
dollar store Brett Favre.
Yeah, not happening, bro.
Sam, I love Sam's question. What's to be done about the QB situation now? Sammy, that's a great question. First of all, shout out to Sammy Bill.
Yeah.
All time HJ member.
Yeah.
My brother. Sammy, that's a great question, man. But here's the sobering answer to that question. What should have been done about that situation, that time, as far as this season goes, has passed. Mm-hmm. Rich alluded to it several times. Mm-hmm. Even during last year and several times in last week's show. Mm-hmm. You sat on your hands when you had opportunities at a couple of positions, not the least of which the quarterback situation. And to Sammy, to extend your point and why this is a really great question, this has been a thing hanging over them. They've been playing with fire on the quarterback situation in terms of the backup piece,
right, for
at least 4 years now, at least
right.
that.
Right.
And now you've had the worst case scenario happen.
Again.
They didn't plan. Here's what we're left with. I mean, they're gonna run with a very porous O-line. They're gonna run out there a very porous O-line. Who's on first playing receiver against Joe Burrow and the Bengals. This let that.
The Super Bowl runner-up, Cincinnati Bengals.
I mean, when you look at the QB matchup today, it's
not a matchup.
It's almost tragic, bro. It's like
college versus pro. What we talking about? Cooper Rush.
And y'all know how I feel about Burrow. I mean, that's the whole thing. But
and D Brown, let me add this: the swell of support I'm seeing from Cowboy Philly is talking about that Cooper Rush is going to be the solution some kind of way. I.e. Skip Bayless is leading this charge, man. Shut your entire ass up.
The whole ass. That's affiliate shit.
Dude, how many times?
See,
what?
Your own front office doesn't even believe in you because they don't have your ass on the active roster.
Right.
Day one. You got promoted from the practice squad day one so that they have an extra body out there.
Correct.
They did this so that they didn't even have to guarantee you the little $500,000 or whatever it is that they're paying you this year. That's how little confidence they got in you and Will Greer or whatever the hell his name, Will Ferrell, whatever. That's how little confidence they have in those guys. So they know that we ain't shit at the quarterback position besides that. And they did absolutely nothing to address it. They don't want to press the button.
To put a bow on Sammy's question, nothing. Because they've done nothing.
Right.
So they're going to get what they planned for, which is
it's too late. It's too late.
It's too late.
It's too late. Yeah. Yeah, that window is slammed shut, nailed shut, boarded up, barbed wire fence and dogs in a guard in a tower with a shotgun watching over it to make sure the Cowboys don't get another quarterback. That window is shut. You have no draft capital. You got no cap space. And the free agent market as it is not that great. The only decent quarterback that's out there that'll be a suitable backup is Cam Newton. I don't think he even wastes his time coming to the Cowboys for what?
That's
He's trying to get back on a team where he can stick and play for a couple more years. And all he's going to do is go out there and get harassed with this sorry-ass offensive line. He's going to put some bad film out there, and he'll never get another contract. Cam ain't stupid. He ain't stupid. He waiting for the right opportunity. So stop talking about Cam Newton, too. That's not going to happen.
That's
the Domino's Pizza offensive coordinator got to go into the drawing board.
Hey, man, get off my guy B, man. It ain't B fault, man.
First of all, I love that comment, by the way. That the Domino's Pizza offensive coordinator. Hey, man, that's
Cowboys
that's
are so thin and so damn bad at quarterback that he himself may be an option at some point.
Oh, Lord.
He's like 38.
Put the clipboard down and put the pants back on, kid. You're in.
Wow.
38.
So, man, you know you're a garbage-ass quarterback, but we need somebody because the jugs machine is broken. So you're in.
Man, so now again, I love that Domino's Pizza line, but let's expound on that for a second because he was another one that was on my hit list today of what I didn't like about last week. Before we get to today's matchup, man. So
the hell with that?
Forgive me if I'm wrong, but did the Beavs abandon the run game too early?
Yep.
The run game was kind of working. I mean, I thought Zeke looked pretty good.
And Pollard in a small sample also.
Exactly.
It was working. They went away from it too quick. And your defense was stopping Brady from scoring touchdowns. I mean, you still had the ability to run to at least try to take some pressure off Dak. You gotta do something with. You know that you can't pass block, then damn it, you run a little bit more so that you at least, take the intensity off the defense a little bit. It's like a boxer. If you don't have a good counter punch, you at least jab your opponent to keep him off you. But damn, they didn't do anything, man. And just like Triple G last night. The Cowboys were like Triple G last night.
I mean, but we supposed to have this premium quarterback in Dak Prescott, so at some point you got to let him show what he's supposed to do.
Right.
I mean, damn, it's a catch-22 with that kind of situation.
Right.
But I mean, you guys aren't wrong though. You guys are not wrong.
Yeah, I mean, and here's the thing, because your defense through, I'm gonna say fairly 3 quarters, was standing on its head. Your game-changing playmaker on that side of the ball is footing the bill. Yeah. Like I said, he literally was responsible for 2 drives of Tampa's that were the 10-yard line or better, about to punch it in, and he kept that from happening. Mm-hmm. So they're doing their job. They're keeping you in the game.
Absolutely.
And because of that, because one of the best defenses is if the run game is showing that it's working, then keep the offense of theirs off the field. How do you do that?
Keep your defense fresh in the process because that defense got tired.
Right, I think Beav got cute early. I mean, when I saw the early reverse, I was like, "Why, Beav? Why?" I mean, and then we talked about this last week. It's like this season with the challenges that we knew before the debacle of last week, before they hit a snap. We said it in the show last week. Man, it's going to be interesting to see how the Beavs plays this because we know what the shortcomings were in the offensive line. We know that they were limited in personnel on the outside. But the one thing you do have is you got what looked to be a pretty strong running Ezekiel Elliott behind you, and Tony Pollard as well. Let's craft touches and movement and offense around them till you get Gallup back, till you get Washington back, till you get what's my man's name? Cliff, the receiver the young cat that we keep expecting to see.
Fuku.
No, not Sammy Falco, the other cat, the young brother.
God dog it.
If y'all in the chat, y'all know what I'm talking about because he was kind of doing his thing and then making a little bit of buzz in camp.
You talking about Turpin?
No, not the second coming of
Lucky White.
No, not him. I'll think of it in a sec. But there was another receiver. I thought it was an HBCU cat that was doing his thing.
Now we got the safety I was talking about. HBCU.
Yeah, but there's if y'all can think of it, Brent or anybody that's in the chat knows what I'm talking about. But the point is, man, let's go with what the strength is to try to overcome some of these known weaknesses. And I thought Beebe got away from that, man, and that too is going to be a problem because he's going to exacerbate a problem that we know is a problem. It's an even bigger problem now because now you got Cooper Rush. So you're gonna let Cooper Rush throw it around the yard 35 times a day? Then that means Dallas needs 38-3. I mean, that's crazy. Turpin needs more touches too. Tap breaks with that. Tap breaks with that.
Yeah,
I know we're still excited about the 2 returns and all that, but bro, he's 5'7" and 105 pounds, soaking wet.
He's going to get plenty of kick returns today because the Bengals going to score a hell of a lot.
Going to score touchdowns.
Right. There's your touches. There you go.
Right. There's your touches, but offensive touches
kick return opportunity today. So I think that's going to happen. Yeah.
I'll say this to my man Boxing True Serum. If you have a offensive game plan that prominently features Kevontae Turpin, then you were in a really, really bad way.
Yeah.
So let's go with that.
And then there
we go, Jackson.
Did you see
I knew my man Brent would come up with it.
Did you see the Chiefs highlight Dante Hall a lot in their offense? Did you see the Bears highlight Devin Hester a lot?
What's my man with the Bears for years?
Devin Hester.
I mean, Devin Hester was never prominently featured in their offense.
Yeah,
he was featured to do what he did, which is his special team. So let's again. No, I said tap breaks. That's incorrect. Stomp breaks. Put both feet on the brakes and stop that.
Roll an anchor out the window too.
That's rough, dog. I understand the spirit because we don't have anything back there right now, wide out, which was something that you couldn't say about us damn near a decade. Well, besides the Allen Hurns and we had Tavon Austin. How'd that work out when we had a gadget guy? No.
No. My man said size has nothing to do with it. No, it does to a degree, but and he is a playmaker, but he's a playmaker in his lane. That's not a guy you prominently feature in an offensive game plan, right? Because what matchup is he gonna win? Getting off the line against a 6'2" cornerback that's 200 pounds. They're gonna toss his little ass out of bounds before he even gets out of the route. So
he's not the kind of guy you draw plays up for. If he's on the field, if the play breaks down, he's open. Get the ball to him. Do what you can. But we're not gonna break the huddle and call his number. That shit's not gonna happen. No.
Yeah, it's misdirection, man.
Right.
Well, I mean, I get you.
No, and to answer your question, he started his career as a DB, but he converted to receiver, and it was a horrible failure. I'm sorry. He started his career as receiver, and it was a disaster. So they moved him to DB and kick return because he couldn't catch. He couldn't catch a cold.
Yeah, that
that's Austin, man. That's not a good idea.
No, let's not belabor that. Now let's talk about what may work for Dallas today.
What may work?
What may work?
Let's start with divine intervention. Let's start there.
It is Sunday. Everybody play whatever God is going on.
And intercession. Right.
In every possible matchup
when they're needed.
The only thing I can see is the Bengals just kind of peaked at their game a bit last week, and the Steelers were able to bring all kind of pressure on Burrow last week.
That's right.
Their offensive line is still
Right.
Your boy Lyle Collins looked a hot mess last week.
Yes,
He was getting his ass beat on every
Yes, he
snap.
did. Wow.
So I would say that's the only chance is if they can win. I ain't gonna say win, but if they can keep it close by making it ugly and like muddying it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Because he did have 5 turnovers, I think it was.
Yeah, he did.
Because they brought a
game.
lot of pressure on Burrow, and he was making a lot of mistakes, and they were out of sync. Of course he got it back together at 7 sacks. Right there you go.
That's crazy.
7 sacks, 4 interceptions. Man, that man Brandon is always on it, man.
That's damn near 2 games worth of production for the defense.
Right. So that's the only snowball's chance in hell they have is to do something on the defensive side. Maybe Diggs, get some pick six, and you muddy some stuff up, get a fumble, and win like a
right.
7-3 type thing. But Cincinnati's offense is so explosive also that even though they can play an ugly half or ugly 3/4 of a game and just blow up on you like they did on Pittsburgh, they should have won that game if not for that sorry ass kicker.
Yeah, exactly.
And they were down. I think they were down 14, like going into the third quarter, going into the fourth quarter.
Going to the fourth, late, yeah.
Yeah, late in the fourth quarter.
So, my man does this thing, and the kicker blows it.
Yeah.
So,
and we still have a run pursuit problem. We still have we're not good at stopping the run. We're still not good at stopping the run. Especially when it matters.
When it matters, yeah. I think they did pretty decent, Rich, through 2.5, almost 3/4.
Yeah.
Last week. I mean, because they actually made plays one game behind the line of scrimmage, which they didn't make the old Brady James play of 8 balls down the field and he's
Brady James.
Right. Leonard Fournette last week reminded me of Brandon Jacobs stomping the shit out of us back in the day.
Yeah.
When he got on the star and was humping the star.
Yeah.
It reminded me of that game last week. That Leonard Fournette was just doing what the hell he wanted.
Well, because they had been out there so many times because the offense was going 3 and out so much.
Yeah.
Football, is a game of absolutes. And I mean, if you out there with multiple snaps, I mean, you're not going to have the same juice that you did snaps 1 through 25. Snap 40, snap 45, and by the end of that game, they had been out there, on extended drives. Mm-hmm. Even though Michael Parsons came up with a couple of plays, but Leonard Fournette is a low. And there comes a point where you out there like you're going to get tired of hitting that dude, and now the 3-yard game becomes the 15, 20-yard game, which ends up breaking into a long one. So they end up getting gashed at the end,
right?
Primarily because they were out there too much, and that could very well happen again today. Yeah. I am worried about if they don't get pressure on Burrow, and they have the opportunity. We might set an NFL record for seeing the gritty.
Right.
With the Bengals, just hitting.
And check this. And that kind of segues to my other point I want to talk about. Now, I think that there was a quote out there where Jamar Chase was talking about some things he noticed about Tavon Diggs, about him gambling too much or what have you, man. So
not being sound technique-wise.
Yes, yes. So what do we make of that comment? That's a young stunner, kind of licking his chops a little bit. That's what it sounded like to me, reading between the lines. So do we see Jamar Chase just get the hell off today?
I won't say that.
I think he'll make plays.
Yeah, he's gonna make plays. I don't see him having like a Megatron or Julio Jones type of day.
God,
of course, it's possible. But there's a lot of truth to what he said about Diggs. Diggs is a gambler. Diggs is very raw in some techniques, and Minnesota took advantage of him when they burnt him with the double move after he had the pick six.
Yep.
They came right back out right after. Brady made it the pass. Yeah, Brady made it a point to go after him last week, and they scored a touchdown on him with Mike Evans. So, there is some truth to what he said.
Well, the what I thought was particularly first of all, I thought his assessment, being a young player was a young opposing player, guy he's going to match up against.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was pretty impressive because I thought he's pretty much spot on because he went into specifics in terms of his technique, but he was saying, look, he's an incredibly athletic guy and he's really fast. So,
I don't think it was a diss. I think it was just an honest assessment.
It was an honest assessment. It really was.
You can't argue with what he said because he was telling the truth.
Yeah, because I think Diggs, because he's such an exceptional athlete, that he relies on that athleticism.
Oh, for sure.
And in other words, being able, and if you think about it, and there'll be some people that think I'm on some heresy shit, and I'm not. But that was a lot of what Dion was.
Yeah.
Dion wasn't just outstanding from a technique standpoint.
No.
And I can name you 5 guys who were better technicians at the cornerback spot.
Yeah, if not
Dion
more.
had such freakish makeup speed
Reeves,
and ball skills.
Woodson,
and ball skills. The ball in the air, he played it as well as anybody. Diggs, right. I'm not saying Diggs is Dion, so I don't want to hear that shit.
Right.
But Diggs has a lot of that in him, and that he is such a good athlete, and he has such good closing speed. Right. Remember, this guy was a receiver.
Right.
He finished about 4 receivers.
He was a receiver. He's recruited and signed as a receiver at Alabama.
Yes.
So the guy has ball skills. Yeah, absolutely. So the ball is in the air, and his ability to see it and play it in the air is outstanding.
We saw that D Brown last year. Like he knows he can identify a route as he's covering, and he'll finish the route out for the receiver. That's how he gets the picks.
Right.
So he got that intuition.
But a savvy,
if he gets wrong.
Right, exactly. And that's where I was going, Cliff. He's still, and even I said last year, even among the 11 pick season, when his acumen matches up with his athleticism, then he's going to be a super problem.
Right.
If he puts in that work and becomes more of a technician along with what he can do athletically, it's going to be a problem because it's all nothing for him right now. He's going to make a spectacular play, or he's going to be chasing and get beat and give up a play.
Feast of family.
Yeah, he's an extreme on both ends. I think Jamar Chase senses that, and he's got a guy that can get it to him. He's got a guy that he's on the same page with. So they're probably going into this matchup thinking, "Hey man, there's some plays out there to be made." Yeah. And I think he'll make a couple plays. I hope he doesn't have a Megatron or Julio Jones type of game. That means this game will be over early, but and it still might. But we'll see how that. But I thought it was real interesting comment clip. I saw that. I was like, pretty astute observation from the young fella.
Well, young boy, man, out there calling you out like that. So since we talking about receivers, let me switch gears a little bit. Mm-hmm. CD ain't really got the smoke yet. So let's talk a little bit about CD Lamb. Does he have on the hit list? So you just tell me. We ain't got to go that extreme. What are we going to see from your boy CD Lamb, man? That's going forward, man. What do we need to see from him? Let me put it that way.
Well, we need to see some consistency. Because even in a situation where your quarterback's under duress, he got the targets. I think he was targeted 11 times last game, and he did absolutely nothing with it. He did nothing to give opportunities to his quarterback when he did have Brent bubble screens. That's it. He did nothing to make life easier for his quarterback. And damn it, be a man and just say, look, bro, I know that we're scheming to go to me. They're doing this. They got me in bracket. They're doing an L. They're doing a vertical. Whatever. Hey, man, throw to some of the other guys. Saying that help your quarterback a little bit too, man, because it's obvious that that they had a very simple game plan, and it was simply going to be Dr. CD was their entire game plan, and then that shit was not working. So, correct. Hey, bro, it's okay. This game, I'm your decoy, man. Go to him. Help those young receivers also, man. Like, you're a young guy also, but they have no NFL experience. It was clear that they were not prepared to play NFL. And
except your boy Brown. Brown's the only one. It seems like he's the only one. Him and Jarwin, like not Jarwin. What's the
Dalton Schultz.
Schultz. That's
like
them. It's like the only 2 receivers on the field. Shit.
Right. But this also goes back to what I said last week. This is where we need Dak Prescott to step up. When you hear that play call in your headset, and you're going to run that whack-ass reverse, and you see 45 Devin White step into the hole, and he's going to shoot the gap and bust a play up in the backfield, you step back and you say, check, and call something else. That's what separates guys like yourself who cash checks and guys like Joe Burrow Russell Wilson, Patrick Mahomes, who win, who go to Super Bowls. That's what separates you, Dak, from those kind of guys. Those are the guys who beat your ass when it matters because they're able to do things when their goofy ass offensive coordinator make dumb decisions. No, sorry, I'm overriding this one. We're running this. We're gonna say that for later, or maybe we won't run it out.
You ain't lying.
I mean, come on, man. Like the term field general means exactly that. If they tell you some bullshit from the Pentagon and you're on the battlefield and it's gonna get you blown up, you tell your troops to do some other shit.
Yeah.
So we can survive this battle.
Yeah.
Right.
Damn, I mean, come on, man.
That's a
Seriously.
good enough.
Yeah, Rich, to your point about like helping other guys out, to my CeeDee Lamb still.
Yeah.
The one thing CeeDee Lamb can also do, in addition to everything you just said, which I completely agree with, is when the ball comes to you, catch the ball.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's just start at its most basic function.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, Cliff? Catch the ball. I mean, if you run the slant and you beat the guy, and that was one to keep the chains moving. And this was a that one particular drive, and those of us that watch the game, the play I'm talking about. That was one where you needed plays were so few and far between when you did have a little bit of momentum. If it wasn't the penalties that were killing them, and we'll get to that in a second. It wasn't the penalties that were killing them. You can't give plays away, and when you get step up to that mantle as the lead receiver, you can't be that guy. You can't drop the third and fourth slant, and to keep drives alive. I mean, I'm sorry, it just can't happen. And was it the best ball? No. But if it's here and your hands are on it, I need you to make that play.
It's in your catch radius.
I'm gonna give you an example.
Exactly right, Rich. I need you to make that play.
You got to know what type of quarterback you got. So if your quarterback is going to be off a little bit, you gotta adjust. It's just like playing basketball. You play with a point guard who he quite don't get it. He gonna give you the ball to alley-oop a little late. He gonna throw it a little bit behind you so you can't gather properly.
Oh yeah.
You gotta know this already. You gotta know this of your quarterback and be ready for it. So if you see that ball come off weird, you're like, oh shit, here it comes. So let me be ready to readjust because those things matter. Those things matter for you being a high-level receiver. And shout out to Between the Game Sports, man. He says he's in. Let's get it, man. Shout out to man. He's kind of grown.
What up, my man?
He about 4K subscribers, man. We'll get it in on this YouTube streaks, man. He dropped the $3 on it, so that gets you over here. Hold on. They get you that dollar bill. Money. Yeah. Appreciate you, bro.
That's love.
Appreciate
You need to get a Creflo Dollar meme next time.
There you go. I like it.
I like that. All right, so let's see. Although Coop had injury last year, he could make a play. You can say what you want to say about Coop not showing up on the road. Coop gonna go through that break. He go through this route. When it's time to break on the ball, he gonna break on that ball. He gonna get us 11 to 15 yards. He ain't gonna break for a big one. That's okay. But
another thing Coop is gonna do is win a route.
Right. Yeah, he gonna win his route. Absolutely.
I mean, because a matter of fact, I don't know if y'all saw the clip of him. There was a clip out there this past week where they were showing Coop running about 6-7 routes, just absolutely destroying the DB on route. We always know Coop has been a technician in terms of running routes. Was from his day, and but quarterback situation ain't what that is in Cleveland. So I mean, the dude was as bad as we get on Dak, those passes were just horrible. And I'm sitting there thinking, boy, Dak gonna miss that, because one thing he could count on with 19 was that he was gonna come out of that break. He was gonna be open. Right. Like to your point, Rich, he was gonna make things easier for his quarterback, and that's part of being the lead is of those little things like that. It's like, bro, the expectation for you is we're calling your number. We're not hoping you win the route. You're the lead receiver because the expectation is that you're going to win the route. Right. And when the ball comes your way, I'm gonna say it again, real slow. Catch the ball. That's your ball. You got to win the route and catch the ball. So it's early. It's I get it. There's a lot of expectation. That expectation is going to be skewed somewhat because now QB1 is out for however many weeks. So I want to segue from that into, man, what does this thing?
Hold on, D Brown. Before you do that, let's do some house cleaning. Y'all hit that like button, man. We 12.
Please hit the like button.
Y'all hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We keeping this thing rolling. So if y'all like this commentary, again, we're not Cowboy homers. We're not dudes who gonna sit here and just bloviate about the Cowboys. Look for the grass is greener every game.
No.
We're gonna tell you what we see. I got bum ass Javen Smith shirt on today because we have bum ass right now. I bought the bum ass energy out today because this shirt is probably gonna be a doormat in a little bit.
Oh wow.
So yeah, man, we keep it real over here. So I hope y'all like what we produce, and so y'all hit that like and subscribe button if y'all new to what's going on over this way. And I yield the floor back to you, D Brown.
My man. So what does this thing look like? It's a two-part question to both y'all, and please y'all in the chat fire away at this. What does this thing look like after week 4 or 5? But let's put it like this. What does this thing look like by the time Dak is ready to come back? And does Jerry Jones have the balls like he did with Wade to remove McCarthy from the situation by then?
Nope.
Damn.
Tell
me that, Rich.
If there's going to be a change, it's going to be after the season's over.
Yeah, exactly. Because Sean Payton's waiting in the wings.
Right.
Sean Payton's waiting in the wings.
Well, I mean, to be honest, it would make sense because, all you're going to do is just basically, put a Band-Aid over the problem. And the wound is still, it's like having a broken arm and putting a Band-Aid on it. That shit needs to have surgery and it needs to go in a sling for several weeks. It needs to have a cast or whatever. This, for all intents and purposes, there's no other way to slice it. This team is done for this year. They're done. So you might as well just ride it. You're going to pay them anyway. Go ahead at this point, go through the motions and try to pretend that you're winning. Because, that's the good old Cowboys mantra is that they operate under the Jesse Jackson creed, the Keep Hope Alive creed. He should sue their ass for copyright infringement.
Right.
But that's the mantra. And when it's officially over and done, probably going to be about 6 or 7 or weeks or so into the season, it'll be very clear that the season is over. Start tanking and get us some more goddamn position in the draft. Let's be honest.
And Rich, what's funny in the group, because people trolled their ass off last week because, it's a big loss. I was saying they said like go out and get this, new quarterback or whatever. And this is kind of to what Will is saying here. We're finding a guy to retirement. I say no. I say we die on this hill and get ready and be ready to draft another receiver. Right. Get ready in the 4th, 3rd round.
You ain't have the money. They got $3 million in cap space right now.
Yeah, no.
They can't sign nobody.
No,
they can't afford Cam Newton if they wanted to.
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe if he wants to just have a job, then he'll take the job.
Well, like I said, it's not in his best interest. He's trying to position himself where he can come in and possibly be like a patchwork starter and or a serviceable backup for the remainder of his days. But if he comes to Dallas and lays an egg, he's done. So there's a high risk, low reward potential there. If he goes to a team, let's say, for example, like the Jets or something like that, which they already suck, the expectations are low, and you go there and you deliver them, let's say, 5 wins out of 8. Oh, wow, he got good film, and then the other team see that. You can probably come in and be a bridge quarterback, mentor their young guy. 4 or 5 years from now, you're done. Well done. That's what he's looking for.
Yeah.
Shout out to my man, Byron Pendleton. What up, Penn? I'm reading this comment. Jared is not removing McCarthy. He has an excuse now that Dak is down. Cowboys 1-5 after week 6 and Dak returns. I could definitely see that scenario playing itself out, especially the excuse part, because it's what it is. I mean, Dak's down, you roll the Cooper Rush. There's that thing. I want to circle back to a point that both of you guys were making about the season being done and some of the comments that are coming in about the emergency, like the viable emergency quarterback till he gets back. Because both of y'all will expand on your points. Something popped in my head that I wanted to put out there for y'all and everybody to check. So going with the scenario that you guys both surmise that the season's done, ride it out, tank to Richard's point when he gets to a certain part of the season and get draft picks. I want to present something to you guys on the other side of that. If they go out and get, or if somebody comes, matter of fact, even if the unlikely, I'll say that, but just to say Cooper Rush somehow manages this thing and they're 500. It's not so much a commentary on Cooper Rush, but you're saying tank now, or it's done now, you don't do anything now. Is that not an indictment on that?
It is.
Because for example, if you go out and get a Fitzpatrick, and we've seen him do some wild stuff in his really, really like story.
I don't know how to describe his career. I ain't seen nothing like it. This dude
you see
7 touchdowns.
Yeah. So but something like that, where you see a guy comes in and that guy actually gets you 3-4 games. Like for example, because when I'll start at this basic point. I'm not talking about the contending NFC, but I'm talking about how these discussions go. If that guy gets you to where you're at, say around 500, like say if it's a six game deal and you go 3-3, right? And Dak comes back, but you're saying now, screw that, let it ride out, and you go with that. Is that not an indictment on what you think Dak is coming after he comes back? Because he's not out for the season,
right?
So that's why I'm putting that forward. It's like, do you automatically scrap it now because no, we don't feel great about Cooper Rush. No, we do see what's the huge problem that is the offensive line and all of that, and then we have some questionable stuff going on with B even using what he's got, that whole deal. But what I'm saying is, do we automatically default to tanking the season, or do they actually try to find a solution for a week or two? For example, let's say they get the game today. How much does that narrative change then? You're sitting at 1-1, and Dak's back in 5 weeks. But to tank it now, and you say, do you not believe Dak gets it done and just meh their way through the rest of the season, even when Dak gets back? Because that's one hell of an indictment on your $40 million quarterback.
Well, I think what you do when let's say we are 500 when Dak comes back, you have to take a long look at as to why that is. If it's quarterback play that's winning those games for you, then for a fact that okay, we got some issues. We need to sit down and take a look at this whole. I think the example that comes to mind is the Philadelphia Eagles. If you remember when Wentz was the quarterback, and they were like, and he gets hurt, and Nick Foles comes in. Yeah. And immediately that team got better. And they bought into Nick Foles. And we know the man has very limited quarterback talent, but it was just something about the way he led that team. They bought into him, they listened to him, they busted their asses for him. He got the absolute most out of those guys and drove them forward.
What are you doing?
If you see that from Cooper Rush, then that means you need to start making a decision as to how you're going to handle the relationship with Dak Prescott moving forward. You're stuck with him because of the contract. I think they got another 3 years before they can get out. But you're going to have a very awkward situation in the quarterback room if they were to even have limited success with Cooper Rush. Because I don't know why. To shoot straight, this team has so many holes. It's not like this is a Super Bowl caliber team that lost its quarterback. This is a team that was bad to begin with its quarterback and then lost it. So if you were able to rally and scrape the bottom of the pot and make a meal out of this, and that can't, you got the wrong leader, man. If you are a leader and you can't influence people to get the job done, then you're not a leader. So that will be a very strong indictment on Dak's leadership ability. If a secondhand scrub like Cooper Rush can come in and get more out of your guys than you can, that's not the guy to lead franchise.
Hey, I'm a big Dak guy, and one thing I can't do is lie about what I see. And what I saw last week was not great. Nope. What I saw last year was not great. Nope. So the truth is just the truth, man. I'm a Cowboys fan at the end of the day, so I'm not gonna sit there and down the hill supporting the guy when you ain't showing the growth. I'm not saying it's time to throw you away, but at the same time, it's time to start making some hard evaluation. I think that's kind of the sentiment of your comment with that, and that I do support. Again, like who you throw back there? Like I don't understand this revolving door of quarterbacks going out. And the comments kind of going circling what we started with. And I think that's apropos of what we need to do. Focus on that running back tandem, and we led in with that, saying we need to run a little more this year. And I want to address Penn's question. So, do we need to bring up what Cooper said at the end of the last season about Dak? What did he say?
What, Black Kirk Cousins?
Is that what he said?
No, I was like, what did he say? I can't remember what the quote was.
Here's the rumor that he called Dak the Black Kirk Cousins.
He said that?
Show me where it's wrong, though. I mean, show me where it's wrong.
Fuck up, I'm busy.
Show me where it's wrong. Show me where it's wrong.
Yeah.
Just being honest. Show me where that criticism is wrong, because there's so much truth to it.
Hey, that's just what it is. And Penn also said, this is why I love this show. Real Cowboys fans that keep it real, support the show. I appreciate that, man.
All day, every day. We're going to keep it 100, regardless of we ain't bad or whatever. You can always get it straight with us. You're going to tell it like it. That's where the name comes from.
Absolutely. So, and then that's just kind of how it has to be. Now, let's talk about the actual game, man. Because we're about the last 10 minutes of the show. What do we see this game materializing as realistically? How do we see this game playing out?
Well, from the Cowboys' perspective, it's going to be a challenge from a defensive perspective because they have a solid 1-2 punch with Mixon and Perrine and running back, which allows Joe Burrow the luxury of having that solid running game where he can take the aggressiveness, take the teeth out of the defense a little bit, and allow him to do his work. Like I mentioned before, the strategy for that I would take would be to attack the edges and try to bring pressure and force him to get rid of that football and see what you can create, from a turnover perspective. But it's going to be a feast or famine kind of day for the defense. So, like I said, the best that they can do is to try to pressure Burrow. Offensively speaking, we are going to be – if we don't have a 70-30 run to pass balance, I don't even know what to say about
70-30.
If we don't have at least 70-30 per run to pass balance today, knowing that your quarterback situation is trash today and your offensive line can't block, because think about the even worse scenario. Lord forbid something happened to Cooper Rush and you got to put Will Greer in there.
Lord have mercy.
Woo!
Oh, wow.
2020 all over again. With bum ass.
Even though he's not nearly what you would call an investment, you damn sure better try to protect Cooper Rush because the alternative is even worse. And if something happens to Cooper Rush, you're going to be going to the XFL or the USFL or whatever the hell to try to find someone else from the dollar store to be a backup quarterback that's their play. That's basically what it boils down to is you at least got to keep Cooper Rush upright until Dak gets back.
Agreed.
Wow.
We gonna leave that alone. That was a funny response you had going over there. April says, I'm late, screwed up my time difference. See y'all back for another season. Absolutely,
I
man.
forgot she got the big time difference.
Yeah, man. So, she overseas. So appreciate you. And we're going to get these sponsors back. So we had like a few shows. This sponsor today is sponsored by No Damn Body.
No Damn MDB.
MDB.
Go back to the matchup, man, real quick. That I see it, maybe I don't see it them hanging in as long as they did last week without help, right? They may hang in for a series or two till Burrow and that offense gets get a little bit of rhythm. I think to Rich's point earlier, they that defense has got to find a way to create havoc.
Mm-hmm.
To get a turnover, strip sack, get a tip ball, get a pick, something has to fall right for them. Short field, because you can't go out there and rush them going 75 yards or more.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? With extended drives that ended up in the end zone, because we didn't see that with the offense last week. So why would we expect that this week with the backup? So something I think extraordinary has to happen for them. In all likelihood, I think this one gets uglier faster. Clock management is a great point.
It goes hand in hand with running the
We have a lot of confidence in that.
Right.
Because Lord knows we haven't seen a lot of good clock and game management from this coaching crew.
During the McCarthy
in the McCarthy era. So
they used to be our thing too. They used to be our thing.
Right. So I don't really see. I'm not enthusiastic about that. That's a great point, but I'm not really enthusiastic about that either. I think this one unfortunately gets away from him earlier than last week. And I mean, this one, for all intents and purposes, may be over by halftime or a little bit after that, and they just play out the string.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of punts,
Man,
a lot of misplays. I think, and we ain't gone into that, man, but it's so sickening. I mean, it's almost become the norm. Bruh, how many penalties did Steele have? 5?
It was bad. It was bad.
I mean, he was called so much I thought they were picking on him, but it's like they were right. I mean, It was crazy. So I mean, but between just the whole disarray of the penalties,
we talked about that
personnel. I just don't see this one going to end early.
Right. The Bucks didn't even have to bother with the left side of the line because they brought all the pressure from his side. That's why he had so many damn penalties. He had to worry about the left tackle because you got a non-factor over there. You got no answer over there. They ain't bothered. They overload them right.
Can Zeke carry the burden?
Hell no.
Hell no.
Can he carry the football? That's you said catch the ball. Can you carry the football? Because again, he had
the best that Zeke Elliott has to offer already.
Yeah, he's going to be one. I mean, you know what? I want to see them answer that question. Just give it to him.
Right.
Give it to him.
He cared about 10 times last week already. And to be honest, he's probably going to be one of the biggest losers in this whole situation because without having Dak and having the focus be on the run, defenses are going to be more prepared to stop the run. I.e., that's going to impact his numbers. I.e., that's going to impact his status when he's a free agent in a few months.
Time to negotiate, absolutely.
So he's not gonna have a whole lot of film to shop around and say, "Hey, look, I can still do this," because you're gonna have 8 or 9 guys in the box against Cooper Rush. Hell, yeah, I might put 11 in the box against him. So, yeah, this is not it. I bet Zeke Elliott's agent is probably just broke everything on the wall when he saw Dak go there.
Hey, that's straight up, man. It's funny how these numbers.
If they lose giving the ball to Zeke 20 some odd times, I'm not mad at that.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes the most sense. Now, will they get a lot of success out of it? Completely different deal. But if this game ends and Ezekiel Elliott has 20, 22, 23 carries, I'm not mad at that.
It'll soften the blow because at least it means it'll take the ball out of Burrow's hands so he's not curb stomping our ass all afternoon.
Yeah, let's not do that.
Playing go that way to Jamar Chase and making plays. It's a head scratcher, man. It's how crazy is this, man? That we're in the mode that we're in, and it's week 2.
Right.
It'll be a long season, Cowboy fans.
Mm-hmm.
Long season, but guess what? We ain't letting up on their ass. You can believe that. Not on this show.
Nope.
They gonna catch this heat. They gonna catch this fade. If it's 17 weeks, then that's 17 weeks of fade they gonna get. Fresh fade.
Straight no chasing. Straight up. So let's land the plane on the show and appreciate y'all, man. I see we 15 deep.
Yeah, shout out to my boy Junie, Mo Pocket. He just the message to say he didn't reply, but he said he's listening in church on the low.
That's dedication.
This gospel and that gospel at the same time.
That's dedication. God ain't gonna be mad.
Hey, after service, ask, hey, just kind of, give Pastor a handshake. Hey, Pastor, what you doing on Sunday? You might be able to prepare a little receiver for us. Just, on the low, I'll tell everybody, saying we'll get Bishop step in for you. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I ride you up to Dallas and, you know, just kind of start massage the conversation because we need some damn help in the receiving corps. Maybe your pastor can step in as our slot receiver. So, Junior, yeah, holler at him for us on the low, man. You know what I'm saying? We'll throw a little something in the building fun. You know what I'm saying? You know, get some help next week.
You start talking these language, you say the building for there, you might get something going.
Yeah, right.
I appreciate that, man. Please check in next week, all of y'all.
Yeah.
That's funny. All right, well, as we land the plane for the show, guys.
Score prediction, real quick, please.
Oh my God.
Score prediction.
Come on, man. Come on. We can't fall back now. You know how ugly it may be. We gotta
Let's
stay.
stand in it, man. Let's stand in it. Let's do it. All right, I go first.
Man. Huh?
I got not Broncos, doggone it. The Bengals, 31. Cowboys, 6. I don't know how we put points on the board.
Still ain't scored a touchdown.
Yeah.
Where you at, Rich? You on point with it last week. With you was right.
I know. I'm on in the wellness challenge, and you know burgers aren't on the menu, but I'm tempted to throw a burger on the grill today.
Oh, it's not gonna be a good burger. It won't be a good burger.
Yeah, and it's not a good burger, man. So if you following the wellness challenge, don't eat burgers. At least with the bun, but I'm gonna give the Bengals a burger today. So we're going 40-3.
Woo!
40-3.
40-3.
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not that far off. I think somehow the Cowboys get in the end zone. I'm gonna give them. I'm going Bengals 34, Dallas 10.
Okay.
34-10. Somehow they get
touchdown, pick 6 or something.
somewhere along those lines. Look, maybe what's Turpin? Maybe Turpin we look after one of those punts and kickoff weaves his way back and finds himself.
Maybe you have
somewhere or another they score a touchdown. 34-10.
As a gadget play, you have one of the receivers come out with a Bengals jersey on. He thinks he's throwing a pick and accidentally throws a touchdown. Maybe that you know, confuse Cooper Rush, trick him into throwing a touchdown.
We got to pull out all the stops.
Whatever it takes.
That's funny. Well, great show, guys. So we'll see how it plays out, and next week we will hop on and talk about
blowout.
Yeah. This may be bad, man. This may be bad. So thank y'all for tuning in, man. Again, y'all 14 strong. Y'all hit the like button on the way out. Tell a friend to bring it over here on this side of the internet with the Straight No Chase Cowboy podcast, man, with your boy Hoop Jargon, with your guy Richard Walker, and your boy Darren Brown, man. So anything before we leave, gentlemen?
Man, just get through it, fight through it, Cowboy fans. These are dark times, but hey, we take the good with the bad, and we don't sugarcoat anything. That's why this is Straight No Chase. Come on back, holler at us.
There you go, man. Till next time, y'all, we out, man. Thank y'all. Peace.
Peace.
I thought we was out.